and that made Kenya to be respected, particularly under the then Organization of African Union, Unity, OAU. Yeah, and because of his foreign affairs policy of not jumping into issues or conclusions. And he was also Mze's doctor.
That's right, personal physician.
And the most trusted person in the cabinet and the Kenyatta family. I was impressed when I saw the entire Kenyatta family at the funeral. It really touched me, including Mama Ngina. So we lost a very good person, and that makes me think Uhuru would have become president. Nimichuki was alive, when Njenga Karume was alive, Dr. Njoroge Mungai was around, and in the evening, sometimes he has a session with them.
Wase?
Yeah, Wase. This is what President Uhuru is missing. It's missing. These were the really people. These were genuine leaders from Central Province. People who had a vision and people who had love for this country.
But maybe now you can take over because you're also an elder.
You see, the fear of most of our people, and some whose ambitions, because normally in politics they say a man without ambitions politically is like a beautiful woman without beauty, or is not interested in beautifying himself and so on. So those who have that ambitions of at one time becoming presidents or doing what, would hate to see some of us moving closer to either the head of state or deputy president or anybody of that kind. Because normally once you occupy a high position of an influence, there are people who comes and who are around you, and they want to tell you what you want to hear. But me, I'm not such a type of a person. I will tell you the truth. I will tell you, my brother, don't follow this route. This is the best way. The way I was opposed to, you remember, in 1992, during the introduction of multi-party democracy, I used to tell the Kenyans, these slogans you hear of transparency, good governance and accountability, these are meant for a purpose of stifling our unity, creating a lot of political parties, making politics in Kenya to be an industry, and then divert attention of development to politics. And that is what is happening today. Everybody is engaged in politics. How many political parties do we have? We don't need governments of coalition. We need a government, if it is a political party, an outright win, and it's a political party. But because politics now is an industry.
It's a religion here.
It's
religion.
So,
it's gospel.
And it has diverted attentions of Kenyans from developing or thinking about how best can we be able to create employment for our young men and women. Because we have a lot of universities in this country producing graduates daily, on daily basis.
Absolutely.
And then if you don't have a good plan for them, how they will be absorbed in gainful employment and how they will be engaged, then we are courting a big danger for this nation. Because somebody will use them, they are disgruntled, and they will cause havoc.
Absolutely.
So if those who would like some of us, because I will tell you as it is, and I know those people who surround our influential guys, they would like to tell them what they want.
So you wouldn't lie to a president, say, if you're an advisor, you wouldn't lie to him?
I won't lie to him. I won't lie to him.
Come on.
Now, like now I'm telling you, I won't lie to him. I have said time and again, I'm telling you, I've told you a few minutes ago, that unless we approach issues of referendum with a lot of sobriety, we will not be able to make it. If we also bow down to the demands from our honorable governors of 45%, we will not be able to service external debt, we will not be able to take care of our young men and women in Somalia from the armed forces, we will not be able to pay our police officers, we will not be able to pay teachers, and we will not be able to pay other civil servants. And now we are experiencing a lot of problems with doctors. You remember I said don't devolve medical services. This should be a national issue because this concerns health. I said that. I said don't devolve education. It has its own standards. You cannot lower it. You say education will be a priority or a prime factor of a county. You will lower the education standards in this country. I said that. I said food, the agriculture, the Minister of Agriculture cannot be devolved because it has got to take care of natural cereals and produce both, and to make sure that we have enough food reserves and so on, and also how do we import more food for our own people. I said those people who are near the head of state or those people in influence positions, they will not say that because they know there is business in sugar, there's business in energy, there is business, the Magendo business in a lot of these things I'm trying to mention. So if we say it remains a national issue, let's put it somewhere else where we can go and have it. This is the problem Kenyans are having, and I've said it time and again, Jeff, that unless we stop Magendo, unless we discourage corruption, it will be very difficult for us to attract investors in this country.
But you say that. Some people say you're preaching water and drinking wine. They say you're corrupt as well sometimes.
Some people, no, we have, they can report me. I've said time and again, they can come up and report me and say you are corrupt, so and so. Anybody have said like that, let me tell you, I am the long-serving trustee at the National NSSF, National Social Security Fund. No contractor who knows me by the name, or they know me by the name, but who has seen me. So and I'm also a director in the National Bank of Kenya. My services to those institutions ends at the board level.
That's it.
That's it. I don't bribe, and you cannot bribe me. And I would like anybody whom I have bribed or who has bribed me to come up and say, Francis, I bribed you.
So why do they call you a thief?
This is envy. They are envious because a thief must be arrested and be arraigned in court. I've said that. One day they said, oh, Atwoli has done this and that. And then the officers come to my office. I ordered my personal assistant to give them all files. Let them look at it. Yeah. Kenya Revenue Authority, another day they were in my offices. They are free to check at my accounts. Me, whatever I get, I share with Kenyans, and it's very little. But I'm rich at heart.
You have a big heart.
I have a big heart. I assist whatever little I have. And let me tell you, Jeff, I wouldn't like to be a rich person.
No.
I have a larger family. When I die, they will always be in court fighting for my riches.
Like some people
so
we
at
know.
the end of the year, if I have made some few coins, I go and live. I spend it all.
You buy a lot of bling.
I don't want to leave a lot of money on my account.
Yeah.
What brings families together, Jeff? And let me tell you here and now for free, is poverty. This brings families together.
Yeah.
You go to a rural setup. If you want to know a house that has love, it's a grass-thatched house. Because when it is raining and it's shining inside there, Mama is helping Mzee to move the bed from left to right so that it should not rain on it. But you in your big maisonette and so on, or a big place, a big house and what have you, your wife has another room. She has her own room where she's sleeping, and you are having your own room in that big house. There is no peace within the families of the rich people. So I wouldn't admire that. I came from the working class. I would like to remain around there.
I mean, let's touch a little on politics, because a lot has been happening in ODM, especially. Young Ababu Namwamba, who comes from your part of the country. Your thoughts about what he's doing within ODM?
Let me tell you, it's not only a young Ababu Namwamba. We have young parliamentarians like Kanini Kega, like those young upcoming politicians in parliament, like Alfred Keter from Nandi Hills. These are young people who should be encouraged irrespective of their diverse thinking or different thinking. They should be encouraged, because when we will not be there, they will be there. The age is on their side. The mistakes they are making now, they will be able to correct in future. So let them be supported. They should not be discouraged. Ababu Namwamba should be supported. Somebody like Alfred Keter from Nandi should be supported.
So
somebody like Kanini Kega should be supported.
So it's good for democracy. It's good for democracy.
It's good for democracy, and to nurture them. They need to be exposed. They need to be supported. They need to make mistakes, and they have made it in life at that age. They are in parliament. When they will be in 40s and 50s, they will be the leaders, national leaders of this nation. So but when an old man stands on his way, he says, oh, Abab Nama, or is a mole, is what? Let him be a mole. Let him make that mistake. He will correct it tomorrow. And the young generation will require him during that time. He would have amassed a lot of experience in leadership. You don't discourage them. If you are discouraged, and I will tell you what, I was merely like a messenger when I was a branch secretary for the senior labor leaders who are there at that time, who are not living. The late Chadwick Adongo was the deputy mayor in this town at one time, Nathan Kahara. He was my general secretary. We have had people like Sam Mohanji, former member of parliament of Emuhaya, and general secretary of the giant Kenya Union of Commercial Food and Allied Workers, James Karebe of the Kenya Local Government Workers Union, Chege of transport, who are no longer there. And I used to move closer to them to learn. Today, all of them are not there.
And you're still there?
And I'm there. Because of the experience I earned from them.
And they encouraged you?
And they encouraged me.
Yeah.
And people like Dennis Akum, who is still living. His bravery and his way of articulating issues.
Yeah.
The late Joseph Mugala. If I didn't move closer to them and learn, if they would have chased me away, there would have been a big vacuum in both local and international labor movement.
True.
So we don't need to stand before these youthful leaders. Save for Uhuru. Moi encouraged him. 2002 he lost, and he came up. At that time, I had taken court immediately, and I had left Kano. I was a staunch supporter of Kano.
You were?
I'm still a life member of Kano. And when I'm a life member, when I leave labor movement, I will go back to my Kano party.
You'll go back?
Yeah, that is the independence party I know. I voted for Kenyatta. Jomo Kenyatta, I voted for him.
You did?
I voted for Moi throughout. Even when the vehicle is passing out, I'm not around. One finger is up there. Can ask him, he's still living. Supported him. I have supported Kibaki 10 years. And now, since I don't have ambition of becoming a president, I'm supporting Uhuru Kenyatta.
Did you vote for him?
By that time, I was in charge of mobilizing for peace, liaising with all political parties. As you know, we at KOTU, we take independent position.
Correct.
Because our members and affiliates, our members are members of different political parties. And that is why we say we are a movement that is free and independent. I can talk to Raila Odinga without fear of contradiction. I can talk to Uhuru Kenyatta without fear of contradiction. I can talk to William Ruto, Deputy President, without any fear of contradiction. I can talk to anybody who is in leadership without being mistaken that I belong to URP, I belong to what?
Would you want to be president, Atwoli? Would you want to be president?
Let me tell you, issue of presidents one. And you remember, Jeff, I've told you, to become a president, it's not you and him. It's an issue that comes from him. If you can remember 2007, everybody concluded that Raila has become a president. He had even more members in parliament than the retired President Kibaki, who had won elections. Did he become a president?
No.
That one must sanction you. We who come from Western Province, we have wished all the time for Honorable Mudavadi to become a president. Even during Moi's time, has he become one?
But when you're counting your beats, you're a staunch Catholic.
Absolutely correct.
And you were showing me earlier on.
These ones. I can't leave them. This is where my strength lies when you hear people saying Atwoli is a thief. A thief cannot have whole rosary with him. This is where my power is. And I can tell you what, people who have fought me, And I can tell you here and now, and whoever is watching this program should write it down.
Go on.
Whoever is fighting Francis Atwoli, Atwoli will be able to see his grave, and he will not see my grave. Because I'm a just man of God.
You're a just
and I speak for the voiceless. So when you are fighting me, be very careful. I have seen them. Now the bunch of the people who are fighting me, this is a different one. Those who fought me, even in 1986, stealing my trade union elections, are no longer with us. Because I pray, I say, don't fight me. Him, you fight for me. I represent the poor.
The voice of the voiceless. Francis Atwoli, his Twitter handle is at Francis Atwoli. Mine is at Koinange Jeff. The hashtag is JKL. Goodness, this man seems to be making a lot of sense today. Oh my, I think it's time for...
Oh, you are killing us.
JKL. We'll be back in a moment.